Hi everybody, thanks for joining me here at the Underground. So it's 2019 and it's coming to an end, and what a year 2019 has been. It has been one that I think will go down in the record books as far as manipulation and records that we have broken. We have record amounts of bank injections going into the economy. That started back in, I think, around September. And initially, the Federal Reserve said it was only going to be a couple of weeks. They just needed to add some liquidity to the market, and things would stable out. But here we are towards the end of December, the end of the year, and they're still doing ejections. And the whole way leading up to this, they've just increased them and increased them. And that money is money that goes on the back of us, the American taxpayer. We're expected to pay that back. So, that right there just gets under my skin, how they can just give these big banks and businesses billions of dollars and we're expected to pay it back and we have no say-so. But, that's just one of the things. Now, around that same time, we had the yield curve invert for the first time. And every time that yield curve inverted, the 10 and 2 year, it has always followed, preceded with a recession, around 18 months after it's inverted. And that was back in September, so, we have that to think about and look at. We've had record subprime auto loan defaults this year. We're at record store closures at like 9,300 last time I checked. Business spending is just completely falling off a cliff, and basically that means companies are going to start laying off. They're not buying products, they're not spending money, they're going to be cutting back. That's going to cause its own set of problems as that heats up down the road. On top of that, and leading from that, we have durable goods sales that just completely fell off a cliff, which is going to cause even more issues and problems in the trucking industry, which has already been in its own contraction and recession for a while now. Same with manufacturing and the PMI. Since around the same time, back in September, I'm seeing a trend here with all these issues. So with everything that's going on in 2019, and that list goes on and on and on, we're heading into a new year, and just because it's a new year, all that stuff doesn't go away. It's actually going to keep speeding up. And, I just want everyone out there to be prepared for it and be ready for it, because it's been heating up for a while now, and things are going to keep going the way they're going. The stock market's going to keep going up. They're going to keep the illusion alive until they can't anymore. And I'm afraid when that day comes, it's going to hit us like a train. It's not going to be slow. And, maybe it'll ease into it and make it smoother for everyone. But I don't think that's going to be the way it happens. I think it's going to come all at once, and that shock factor is going to hit us. And with that shock factor, you got to be prepared for it, because I know a lot of people think that they're going to be safe in their little bubble, and they're going to be out there doing their garden, and it's going to be, butterflies and rainbows in their little safe zone, and that's not going to be the case. The darkness is going to overwhelm everything. And the only way you're going to be safe is with community, fellowship, preparation and faith. But be ready for that shock factor, because I'll tell you what, when it's right in your face, it's a lot worse than, what you think it is or what you see on TV. And it's a natural reaction to freeze up. So you have to be prepared for it mentally so you don't freeze up, because that can be the difference between life and death. But I read an article today by a man named John Hoosman, and he is an economic analyst. He is a hedge fund owner. From the 90s to the early 2000s, he was a professor of economics and international finance, and he also is a stock market strategist. Now, he's predicted successfully other problems in the past. In the early 2000s, he predicted the tech crash. He successfully predicted the 2007 and 8 recession that happened. And there's been other things out there that he has called accurately by the way he, does his measurements and charts for predicting these things. I don't know. I'm not a stock market analyst. But I found a little article with some comments that he said on what he predicts the next 10 to 12 years heading into the 2020s is going to look like. And I wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, according to John Hessman, we have every reason to be worried. He firmly believes that portfolio returns are heading in for the worst 12 years in history. Pointing to a weakening internal metrics within the market, he predicts that the best we could see, the best, is 50 to 65% decline in the stock market. And that's being optimistic, he says. The chaos just off of that alone would be unbelievable. Besides that curtain gets pulled back and everyone that thinks the economy's fine and is living their day-to-day life will finally see that, you know, there's been this huge illusion here this whole time. The shock factor alone of that, and how many businesses would close, how many people would lose their jobs, like that right there alone would spin us out of control into probably chaos that we couldn't even imagine. And, you know, he's saying that is the best case scenario. So according to his measures, he says we could see a crash that matches or succeeds the crash of 1929 of the Great Depression. And, you know, at present levels, he says, we expect the S&P 500 to produce negative returns over the next 12-year period. He is forecasting a full decade of negative equity returns in the stock market. And that's the only thing keeping this illusion alive. So, you know, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens. But like I said, this guy has successfully predicted basically the last, you know, 3 recessions and crashes. So, you know, who knows what will happen. But that's just something to think about. And, you know, he's saying it's going to happen and then stay like that at least the next 10 to 12 years. Things are just going to keep turning down and down and down. So if you're not prepared for it, it's going to be really rough because, you know, like I said, if 50 to 65% of the stock market loses its value, businesses are instantly going to go under that second. And a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, and if that downtrend continues, new jobs aren't going to be opening up and being available. So, you know, you're going to have to survive on your skills and, you know, maybe side work, who knows what, if that'll even be available because of, you know, the you know, negativity that's going to bring into our streets and in our lives. So everybody just keep preparing, doing what you're doing. And if you're not being prepared and you're watching a video like this for the first time, you know, look into it yourself. Do a little homework. You know, things have been heading negative for a while now, but it's been covered up with this stock market and the unemployment rate and certain things like that. We are in no means in the best economy in American history. It is the longest, you know, bull run in American history for the stock market, but that's the stock market. Once again, that is detached from our real economy. I mean, let's be honest, this can't be the best economy in American history like they're telling us, because most Americans are broke. I did a video a while back and it was something like, I don't even know, 76% of Americans don't even have $500 in the bank. So when you're walking around the store and you see people at Walmart and things like that, just think about that. That's like 7 out of 10 of those people you see don't even have $400 or $500 in their savings. If this was the best economy in American history, all of us would be prospering. And I don't know about you, but it's been a rough year for you know, for my family. Probably the roughest one we've had possibly ever. You know, and we didn't go out and buy any new cars or get any new toys or nothing like that. We've actually cut back a lot, and, you know, it's still been a pretty rough year for us. So that right there, you know, every one of you out there knows how well you did this year, and it's nothing that any of us have done wrong. It's the way our economy's going. The opportunities aren't there, prices are going up, wages are staying the same, and that's not what happens in the best economy in the, you know, American history, in the greatest country in history. You know, and that's the truth. This is the greatest country in history. We should all be living good, comfortable, and not stressing about bills are having a couple $100s in our bank or pockets. So, you know, just keep your eyes open, guys, and keep getting prepared. Sorry to be so negative around the holidays. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. Thank you for all your support out there. Don't forget about the giveaway. I'll have the links below. We got the 500 subscriber comment video, the 500 VR comment video, and I look forward to doing that giveaway. There's awesome prizes. I did a video on that. If any of you haven't seen it, go check it out. And have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy the time with your family. And just let's be thankful for these holidays and being able to be safe, you know, this year, and be with our families and not worry about what's going on outside as of now. And let's just pray and hope it stays that way. Merry Christmas. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the bell notification, and please keep prepping, everybody.